Hello, everyone. This is HR Perspective, and today we have with us Mr. Pankaj Gursahani. He is the Director of Training and Development at AstraZeneca Pharmaceutical Limited. And today we are going to speak about the past, present, and future of human resources. Welcome, Mr. Gursahani. Thank you so much for doing this with us. So, beginning with our topic for today, which is the role of an HR. I would like to know what are the major three trends that actually changed HR over the past decade.
Okay. Before I respond to any of your questions, I just thought let me give a disclaimer also. First thing first,
Yeah.
I represent AstraZeneca, the company who is also the the development behind
Manufacturers,
manufacturer
Covishield.
of COVID Shield also. So I hope everybody is safe and sound. Get yourself a COVID Shield as early as possible, or for that matter, any vaccine. It is good for the country and good for an individual. That's the first disclaimer.
Yeah.
Disclaimer number two, what I'm going to present will be my views. It does not represent my organization or my designation. All these things has been used just for the identification purposes. Yeah.
Right.
So fair enough. So the role of HR has changed. I think the answer is always being yes, and we have been hearing about it. And it keeps changing. I still like to believe that HR is still an evolving function. It is not as mature as finance.
Right.
The role, in one word, if I have to say, it has changed quite possibly from being an employee advocate function to strategic partner. So that's a big change. What I
Right.
have seen it in the last 7 to 10 years down the line.
I think are the major changes that an HR's role has adapted to, or it will get adapted to in the near future.
Look, there is no brainers attached in any case. I think the one big change which HR is gearing up very strongly, not because of pandemic, otherwise also, I have to give advantage to HR function that they have been very digital savvy. If you
Okay.
talk about the learning and development and the LMS journey started somewhere 15 years back. The
Right.
e-learning content started 78 years back. The
Correct.
learning app started 5 or 6 years back. And which was the function who adopted all these changes? It was human resources, right? Today, all your information and my information into one system, which is called Workplace or SAP. And I mean, you can imagine you can do a lot. Today, you can do a lot of talent mapping also happens to digital. So the
Correct.
one factor where I think the HR have shown their agility is on digital landscape. That's very one. Number two, the big change what I see, which HR has made some progress and continue to make progress is their alignment with the businesses. They're not sitting on the fences, but today HR I can see in every organization they are a part of a planning table. They're
True.
not on the menu card. So I think these are two important things which I personally have witnessed and seen the very progressive journey of human resources.
Now, do you think these changes that you're mentioning are all beneficial?
Okay, there's a good old saying, by the way, which says that the progress happened because of change.
Right.
But at the same time, not all changes lead to the progress, right?
True.
So I think we also have our own set of highs and lows. But if I have to say, the hindsight, if the HR person is reasonably strong, affirmative, assertive, he or she can draw a lot of advantages from these changes.
Right.
It's also depend upon the individual, seriously
Yeah.
speaking, right? But at the same time, if unfortunately, no offense to anybody here, if the person is not very strong or very submissive, just trying to be popular in the game of businesses, no matter how good you try to do, you're not able to bring those changes upfront and very tangibly speaking. So I think it's a person behind the show also equally important, besides what you work through your function and through the technology. That
True.
is
The
my take.
individual efforts are also more important.
Absolutely has a role to play.
Okay, so and what do you think, what do you need to consider while determining, the future human resources needs?
I think pandemic has really given us a big lessons, and we are learning day in day out.
True.
One big thing which I think HR is gearing up, they are changing their lenses also to identify the talent.
Yeah.
It's no more that 3 by 3 or 2 by 2 matrix standard way of looking at. Nothing wrong in that. It has given us a good dividend, by the way.
Yeah.
But today, I think the lens have changed in the sense that if the person is adaptable to change and embed that change into his own DNA or her DNA, to me, that's a talent. To me, that's a
Yeah.
big talent. And that is the one big lens HR is really changing up, number one. Number two, I think another big change is sitting at home in last 1.5 year, dealing with the family, vis-a-vis the work pressure and everything. there is some mental fatigue. I'm sure all of us are going through.
Correct. Yeah.
You confess it or not, but it's a harsh reality. And I think HR is also working very closely to make sure that how we are mentally agile as an employee, as a workforce also. So a lot of initiative, when I talk to my HR fraternity, almost every possible organization is working something on mental wellness,
Right.
something which unfortunately was not there in the front seat because we never realized the importance of that due to
True.
some reason. But today, I guess these are two areas which I'm sure the HR is going to very highly focus on: identifying the good talent, B, making it sure that employee mental wellness has been taken care of, and last but not the least, for the sake of reputation, keep evolving the fulcrum of technology, because that is going to stay with us at least for
Correct.
next 5 or 10 year down the line. That's all.
Absolutely. And what do you think are the future and current challenges which an HR faces?
I don't know whether I should call them a challenge or I should call it an opportunities. Maybe the first opportunity, or you may say it a challenge also. How do you transform your employee field force or employee force to digital? Today, my team members, they are doing the digital job, right?
Yeah.
But it's like doing digital or you are being digital. So that's a cultural change which I think HR has got a good role to play. So to me,
Yeah.
that's an opportunity or challenge, whatever you call it. But I see it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's the one part. Second part, as I said, that every person is trying to engage the employee, every organization. But I
Right.
guess we have engaged the employees, but we are not able to build the productivity level which used to be before pandemic era.
True.
uh,
Yeah.
like it or not, today every organization is almost bleeding chips. Somehow we are able to manage the show. But I think the second big challenge and opportunity I see: how do I sustain or how do I bring back the productivity level of my employees pre-pandemic era? For
Right.
that, do I need to change the business model? Yes. Do I need to change the way I look at the employee? Do I have to change my workplace also? Will that be a digital or going back to the office, or to a blended approach? So a lot of things are there in everybody's mind, and we may not have the good answer even at this point of time.
Right.
But at least the thought must have occurred by now. And there are two, three things which I'm looking at. One, workplace. B, the transformation for being digital, and of course the mental agility what we spoke about of the employee.
So, do you think some startups are, actually have decided to continue their, workforces and management without an HR? What do you think about this strategy of not using an HR?
God bless them. No, no. On a serious note, I'm sure they have their own pressure point. Uh, Starting a startup is not easy. Now we all know the success rate is less than 1%.
Yeah.
But if somebody gets into that league, then of course you can make millions and billions of bucks. That also we have been seeing it. Zomato is a
Yeah.
great example of startup. Just now it has become a history. So is Paytm. Okay, coming on to your core question, I think it's a call they have taken, which means there could be two reasons. Number one, maybe they think that they know HR very well, and HR also says to every leader, "Okay, look, everybody is human resources, everybody is HR." Okay, so
Yes.
maybe they have imbibed that philosophy within themselves. That's one. Number two reason could be they don't understand HR, and they think, okay, without HR we can run the show also. So I see it as a completely black or white. Unfortunately, at this point of time, I'm not able to see a gray here, right? So, and it all depends on an individual person. If the background of the person, whoso the CEO, has got a very strong HR background, maybe he can get away without HR department. He says, no, I know the HR
Correct.
very well, and I can do the very good job, and nothing wrong in that. Very good. But the worry
Yes.
happens when you don't have an HR background, you're in a startup, and you still don't know the complete mechanism of engaging the employee, then I think you will have a tough time. But
Yeah.
it's an individual call. I mean, I leave it to their good judgment, and I'm sure they have their own pressure point to cut down their own costs, making it sure that they give the ROI back to the investors and virtual and venture capitalists. So I sincerely respect that point. But if somebody have a choice to make, I will still like to invest something on HR. I will not walk away completely. I will still would like to build some sort of a building blocks, either through system, through policies, or maybe a one person at a very junior level, but making it sure that he or she knows the job very well and drive the HR as a philosophy, as a concept.
So, what do you think are the evolving expectations of the workforce? from the employers, and how do you think an HR can help in managing these things?
Uh, in fact, just came from the People Matter Tech HR Congress, and there also people were discussing a similar topic in the sense what could the future skills. And today, employee is also looking upon us to say, okay, I understand pandemic, I understand digital, but help me to understand what are the new skills I need to adopt.
True.
And really, they don't have the good answers, but they're searching for the answer from us. And even if we say, okay, there are a list of future skills and all that, you Google it up, you will get to see 10, 12 skills here and there. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know whether at this point of time we have got a very good plan to upgrade those skills. Let's say if I say critical thinking is one good skill, just take an example.
Yeah.
But do you have a complete program behind that in the 70-20-10 principle for all my employees at different level? Answer is may or may not be. But my sincere guess is it's a no to large extent. There are some organizations who are really anticipating the future and they're highly proactive, but they're very niche audience. But if I take the general mid-sized organizations and small organization, I'm not sure we have been there up till now. So that's the one expectation what employee force will have from the HR key. Look, tell me the skills which I need to upgrade and give me a platform and opportunity to upgrade. That's one.
True. Yeah.
Second, expectation of employee. I'm being very selfish as an employee. I would say, how do I how do I earn more? And when I say
Very
earn
true.
more, does not mean only the money in terms of recognition, in terms of
Yeah.
promotion. And come on, we are making some organization very leaner at this point of time. We are
Yeah.
remodeling the entire workflows plan. Yet employee doesn't understand those things. He says, fine, I will still contribute my 200%. You tell me how do I earn more?
Yeah.
A, in terms of my recognition, B, in terms of my salaries and all that. When do
Yeah.
I get my double digit increment? It has been a while. I'm surviving on either minus 30% or single digit increment, right? So when do I get those time and era? Which means it's an ocean which is boiling still. Who have to bring the productivity first? Is it an employee or is it an HR? Okay, that's the second factor. And last but not the least, if I have to say, somewhere I think HR need to be more empathetic to the
Right.
employee. Not that we are not, by the way. Don't even think
No,
of it.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I think the empathy should have to be here from both the sides. HR being a server and HR also being served. So I think both the side HR need to exhibit empathy. So there are three expectations. I would say if I'm the employee of the organization, that is what I would expect from the HR.
When you're talking about DNI, okay, so the narrative of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it has been forever broadened, okay, by the implementation of virtual and hybrid workplaces given the pandemic. How do you think the talent pool now has changed for an HR?
Talent pool, in fact, if you ask me, should change and will change. It's a matter of time. As I said already in my previous response, that the lens to identify that talent is also getting changed as we speak.
Yeah.
And HR is also not only HR, even the CEOs, the CXOs of the world, everybody is having a very different insight altogether. As I said, pandemic has been a learning experience for all of us, and it will continue to give us that experience over the next 2 or 3 years time. So for me, I think the talent metrics has or will completely change from the point of view of identifying the talent to the groom also. Second thing, now it's a good thing, whether you agree or disagree here also, the attrition has been taken care of unknowingly. It was not a planned way, but it has taken care of because if some company have done so well with their employees in this hard time, employee have been touched mentally as well as spiritually also with the organization, and they can't complain more. This is look, this is a good company. They
Yeah.
really took care of me. They provided me mass sanitization. My wife got admitted in the hospital. They provide me all the facilities. I got oxygen on time.
Yeah.
And when I hear these
Vaccinations.
vaccination, so when I hear these emotions, they are so strong. They are so strong that they want to stay with the organization. That's one reason. Number two, they also realize the uncertainty in the world. Today, people are not trying to experiment at this point of time. They want to consolidate their positions as
Yeah.
strong as possible. They want to work hard. They want to contribute more, but they want to consolidate at any level. You know, so that has probably worked in the favor of HR. That attrition may not be the bigger challenge at this point of time. Not that it will not be, But at least for next 1 or 2 years, my HR colleagues, they can take a sigh of relief. Okay, let me focus on the development. Let me not too much of focus on the attrition piece. So the pandemic has given you some opportunities as well as some advantages too.
And when we're talking about HRs and everything,
Yeah,
what do you think HR means to you?
HR means to me, I think two things, and this I can correlate with my own journey with HR. For me, HR is a change agent. I mean, I really like to say it again and again because I truly believe in that. Any transformation in the organization, in any organization which has happened, HR had a or has a great role to play. Be it a SAP introduction, be it an LMS, be it any technology innovation, be it a restructuring of the entire thing. I mean, they are the one
Yeah,
who are the custodial of the change agent, change
correct.
manager. So I describe HR as a change agent. I also see HR as a strategic partner to drive the business. It's not that they just want to drive the policy. Sorry, no. I think today HR is such become much more agile. They don't only drive the policies, but they also demand the outcomes as much as
Right,
possible.
right.
They ask for a measurement of ROIs also. Earlier, they used to answer this question, okay, this is the ROI, but today they're in a position to even ask ROI from the business also. Okay, look, if I provide you this, if I give
Yeah,
you this workforce also, so what ROI should we expect? By when you think we'll get the first penny of the profit? Should we will get it by 2021 or will we get it by 2022? So these are some good and tough questions that HR is also asking nowadays. And to me, this is a good call. And I would say they're the true HR strategic partner, for the business. So two things: change agent and the strategic partner.
what do you think the HR professionals of today should have? The one key skill that they should have with this constantly changing business paradigm.
You don't mind if I say two?
No, definitely not. Please.
Okay, because I can't sum it up in one. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
my limitation. Um, and this has nothing to do with the pandemic. By the way, I'm just saying historically also, and I think I've tried to give the answer in my earlier responses. I think one good skill, one key skill I would expect to be an assertive person, an assertive HR who can challenge the status quo, who can raise the bar,
Right.
and he or she should be firm onto certain things because sometimes no offense to anybody here who are listening to this conversation, there are many HR colleagues, we try to become more popular uh, just for the sake of being aligned with the business, which is not required because not every time business is right, not every time your
Correct.
CEO is right. He is not an expert in HR, you are an expert in HR, so somewhere down the line you also have to educate him or her. Okay, look, this is the right way of doing it, not this way. I still will give you my support, no doubt about it. But being very honest to you, I think this is not the best solution, what you're thinking. So you need to have that assertivity and conviction in your thought process while communicating with your peer group, with your upward management. So that's the one skill I would say, being assertive and the one who can challenge and support both. That's my
Right.
definition of being assertive. Second skill, I would say, I think before you correct others, you have to keep your own house in order, which means you really have to be agile as well in terms of digital landscape, in terms of changing around that. So HR also people need to be upgrade themselves. For
Right.
example, if somebody being graduated, let's say like me in 2008 from XLRI, life has changed in last 12 years.
Yeah.
There are a lot of new concepts, the new principles, the new models have come. Are you investing yourself in learning all those areas, or you're still living with the old, which is the right theory, by the way, nothing wrong in those books, but things have been changing.
Right.
And when the author is writing the book, also he also write a book based on the new trends, not on the past
Right.
trends. So the
Right.
question we need to ask ourselves: how much of time we are investing in ourselves to upgrade ourselves, and maybe answer yourself by the end of this year: did I learn one or two new things? Did I upgrade myself into the one or two new important skills? If the answer comes yes, then I think that is the way is an agile HR is. So two areas, as I told you, and this is what my submission to you.
So that is being assertive and being agile, the two key
Absolutely.
elements.
And there can be many more also. The list can be long, but since you asked for one and I have given you two, and for me, both are equally important. I don't know which one is
True.
more important. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so with that, Mr. Gursahani, we come to the end of our session of HR perspective. Thank you so much for doing this with us, and I'm pretty sure our audience will be, very happy and they can learn a lot with the answers that you have given us. We will be posting it shortly and tagging you. And again, thanks for doing this.
So thank you very much for opportunity given to me, and I wish everybody in your team the very, very best. I'm
Thank you.
sure you guys are doing a great job in terms of building the community of HR and learning and professionals. I think this is a way we can learn knowledge. We can share a
Correct.
lot. So,
Yeah.
so, so many thanks, and I wish you the very best, the entire
Thank
team
you. Thank you so
of
much.
the Keka HR, and see to it that you keep moving yourself to the next level as much as possible.